COVID-19 has changed a lot of things that we've done. We've kind of gone online for our construction project meetings, and then we all go out there and walk around the sites. But we don't get, as the project team members aren't getting together on the major projects, and just so we don't get somebody sick or whatnot there. But on the construction site, they've really socially isolated a lot of things. I mean, so they're managing the teams out there that's constructing in different portions. They've got wash stations, so they're really paying attention. But there's always, that interaction. I worry about masons inside shelters. Now that the weather's gotten better, we've eliminated some of that shelter, so that's going to help. That's the on-site stuff. But as far as products, so far things have been pretty good. We've had to make some changes with floor tiles that are made over in Europe and some of those things, and try to find some products and substitute some products that are here locally in a warehouse, so we know we can get them. I only know of one item. It's an elevator at Laura Wilder that is probably not going to make it in time for our construction project time frame. So that's the only thing that I've seen that's impacting us right now as far as schedule. I actually was tested in thermometer on our project meeting we had at Laura Wilder yesterday. So they're being diligent, and they're paying attention to that. So so it's a different usual. Well, Jefferson's really moving along quite nicely. They're just finishing up the last portion of the steel. Decking will start on that in the last academic wings. They've just recently poured the commons floor, the gym floor, the gym walkway around. You're starting to see painting in some areas, roofing. I mean, it's a big building, so there's a lot to do, a lot yet to do. But we're getting where pretty soon the weather is not going to be a factor. Everything will be enclosed within a few months as we move into the to the fall. It's bad I'm saying fall already, but we are. They're really working on site. They're starting to put curbs in around parking lots, gravel bases. The football field is really graded now. All the practice fields are graded. They'll be starting to put black dirt, and they're putting the drainage in now, and they're working on the track and field houses and those sort of things. But the goal is to have all that seeded, in time before winter sets in, start getting some grass establishments this fall, so we have a good turf stand for next year. So I mean, you're going to see that site change a lot over the summer, because I think they want to try to get a lot of the landscaping in and everything for this fall yet. So you're starting to see it really start shaping up, and I think your drone footage shows that there's a lot going on. Laura the Wilder, we were able to get into the building, with the shutdown of the schools, and so all the renovation of the restrooms have started. A lot of the sewer lines have been installed. They're starting to. I had the project meeting there yesterday, and you're starting to see things start to come back. I always say that demo portions are the toughest part, because you uncover things that you may not anticipate, or the old plans don't show. But we're starting to see some of the construction going back. The footing and foundation on the additions are in, so the masonry work will start probably next week, going up on that stair tower. And so that's well underway and on schedule, except for that elevator that we talked about earlier. Horace Mann, they've almost completed all the demolition for the inside. We've done that inside. They tore out the front portion of the building where we're going to tie in the addition. They're excavating. They'll start their foundation work this week, and so it's underway. Yeah, the office area is going to be on that northeast corner. So that'll be the new security entrance and office. We just finished up working on the furniture and equipment. I just turned that over to purchasing. They get that ordered for the fall, and working with the principals and those sort of things, and it's coming together really well. So Robert Frost has a security administration, security entrance on the east side, and a gym expansion on the west. That one's probably the furthest along of the three new ones. That was the first one bid, and we were able to get started on that quick. There's a lot of pieces to that because we have electrical service, we have mid-continent wire relocation, and Midco is supposed to start end of this week, the first of next week to get theirs, and then all those power lines around that whole school will be able to be pulled. We still have the IPCs, the electrical service, on those wires, and on June 5th that gets converted over to the relocated area. So then we'll be able to pull all those poles and get that drop-off area. It'll kind of really clean up that front portion. But you know, the masonry is about to a point where we're just waiting for the wood roof. That's a kind of a wood roof structure that we're going to try to match the existing, and then they're moving over to the gymnasium side here. Probably start that block work next week. So that's on schedule. The block wall is gone. We're tying in, so we were able to get inside and tear that. See, the part of that is that you have the admin area, then the old portion is going to be a mechanical room and the health area and a conference room. So we were able to do a lot of that work inside. Y School was, we'd probably be just moving into that demo portion next week under the original schedule, but that's almost all complete, and all the underground electrical and plumbing is done. So we got a little jump on it, so it may help us in the end. It's a slower process than the high school. The high school was a stick frame and precast and made, really designed for winter construction, so it goes pretty well. This one is all block. Middle school is probably that age where the most abusive on schools there is. But so we try to build those with a little more durability and everything masonry, and they're going pretty well. They're finishing up on it's kind of the academic area is A1, which is the east portion. A2 is where the office admin is. A3 is that back portion, and they're pretty well done with A3. That's a single level. I got all the mechanical, HVAC, and everything kind of already roughed in. A1 is a two-story structure. The A1, the lower level, is in pretty good shape, about in the same shape as A3, but they're putting on the roof now on the upper level of A1, and the mechanical penthouse will be coming on. So they're just tying that in, and they'll go up. And they're actually, the masons are working on all the bearing walls in the upper level of A1 or A2. That's with the admin. The lower level, they're pouring floors, and all the mechanical and plumbing are in underground, and they're doing bearing walls, and then they'll kind of just work their way around. If you've noticed where the precast was set on the very northwest corner, that's the music area, and that's actually the storm shelter for the building. And that's all in, so they'll be able to start working on the boiler room and getting that portion. Then they'll roll over to the auditorium. All that foundation is in, and the gymnasium, and all that foundation is in. So the masons will just continue on in the commons area and link and just work their way out. We don't anticipate much masonry work in the auditorium until probably end of June, and then working through. The gym will go fairly quickly because it's not as, the density of work is not there on the gym side. So we're trying to get it where a lot of the mechanical, electrical, and HVAC can work through. And the weather doesn't impact it quite as much there, because now we just jump back as earlier in a project. So if it's raining, the masons go in and finish out non-bearing walls and touch through. So they're starting some curb work on Terry Avenue. That wasn't in your drone yet, but they're scheduled to start that probably next week, this week and next week. They're starting to put the gravel base in. I think you saw some of that going in when you were droning. And they're starting to grade the football field. So our goal there is to get that seeded as well this fall. So a lot going on.